Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm here with Silke Zimmermann today, the beautiful Krefeld Pavillon. For those of us who don't know you yet, maybe you just like to introduce yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
Hello everybody from my side, I'm Silke Zimmermann. I have a long record in the record industry, if I may say so, because I started initially realizing that I wouldn't be a pianist myself, switching to the other side of the table, and I worked a lot in the management of international musicians. I was something like the foreign minister for Sony Classical International, so that took me obviously into all the big cities, into all the big concert halls, and now I have returned to my hometown in Krefeld, which is near Düsseldorf on the Rhine, and I came across this beautiful pavilion, and it's a beautiful building made of wood entirely, so you feel like sitting inside a double bass actually. And the acoustics is really special, and I said to myself, wow, this is amazing. Why does nobody do any music here? It's of course a project that was initiated for the Bauhaus celebration in 2019. It's a work of art, it's not a building, theoretically, so it should be taken down, and I said to myself, that's a pity, let's see if we can organize something here. And I met the wonderful and glamorous head of the administration of the pavilion, who said, this is great to meet you, Silke, why don't we start a music series here? And that's what we did.
I think we met the first time in Verbier, you said, at the festival, later also at Schloss Elmau, where you were the artistic director. And I mean, so you mentioned you started with the piano, then you changed to the management side, to labels. Now you also organize concerts yourself. What makes you burn for classical music so much?
I could say the sheer beauty. I think it's beauty that we don't have in our world anymore, and it's like collecting something very, very precious, knowing that we are being surrounded by so much music that is very boring and very uninspired, I think, yeah. And so it's a privilege actually to show some music that was composed over the centuries, and be it Baroque and be it contemporary music, whatever we choose for the respective occasion. It is a pleasure and a delight to show this music. And one of my reasons why I always try to find places where you can do this, because not every room is destined for music acoustically, of course. But here we had the situation that everybody can sit around the stage, which is really, really nice because the building is octagonal. Yeah, it's wonderful to mix interesting sights with interesting music.
I agree, and while we were in the car, we were talking about the kind of connection and community you can create with such an event, other than just being at home watching Netflix or even watching football at home alone. How do you think that music can connect people here, and why would you encourage people to go to concerts even if they haven't done so before?
I think in recent years we have all taken on the habit of living a little more recluded. We have taken the habit of eating and of watching Netflix, etc. And my experience over many, many, many years actually is, yes, okay, of course I can have my CD player and I can have my whatever player, but any music that you hear over headphones and in whatever circumstance at home will never match the live performance that you can have and the feeling that you can have with being in a group of people hearing the same music. And this cannot be replaced by anything, I think.
Yeah, I have the same feelings as a performer on stage sometimes when you have these special moments where you know that everyone is really listening. And it's somehow different than if you just have a speech on stage, because it's a really huge emotional connection. Of course, you can also do emotional speeches. I think that's very similar. In a concert, you create really the synchronicity between the people. Now, as an organizer, have you observed that people talk to each other differently after a performance and before a performance? I would just be curious to learn, like, how, because you are more in touch with the people, I guess, than we are. We always meet them after the performance. So how have, maybe you want to share 2-3 stories of people in your concerts who have really changed their mood, or who got to be in touch with each other?
It is very interesting in a town like here where lots of people don't have the famous subscription to the opera anymore and feel that we rather stay in our garden, etc. A concert can enhance the energy of going out again. I have witnessed very often that people come from a concert here and say to each other, wow, it's high time that we got a subscription for the opera again. It's so beautiful to listen to music. So they rediscover something that was lost, that they maybe experienced as a child and earlier in their life. And it gets a little lost because we're getting probably more lazy, if I may say so. It takes a lot to be dressing up and to be leaving the house. It's so nice at home, etc. But I have witnessed many times that people really start talking about the music afterwards. Like, for instance, Korngoldholm we're going to play tonight. Wow, this really is the beginning. It sounds like film music, right? And then you explain to these people, yes, he was one of the foremost and he was one of the forerunners of what we call film music today. And people like Hans Zimmer would look to him for inspiration. Yeah. Yes, it's correctly what you said. It's very different in the beginning, where people have been invited by friends, have come along because it's the pavilion, whatever it is. But after the concerts, definitely there's talk about the music, always. Very interesting.
I mean, the difference with classical music to many other genres is that, you know, you really need to sit there and also listen actively, while a lot of music you can listen to as a background, also classical. Sometimes I listen to as a background, but it's really a different experience if you sit there, you know, and just really have to be attentive to really follow what is happening. How would you encourage people? Because we are really used to, you know, fast food in every area of our life nowadays. You know, we get everything, the clothes, we get with one click. We all think we can learn everything very quickly because we see that on the internet. I mean, you know, I also teach online. Yeah, I do my master classes. Of course, there are systems which can make it faster for you, but still, it's nothing that you can learn in 2 weeks, right? And how would you encourage people who go to concerts and maybe are not so experienced to overcome that barrier, that they're afraid of going because they know it's something special? I
think it's quite right what you say. We live in a world where everything is accessible. We think that the internet has brought us everything home. But beauty is something that you cannot always experience in the internet. Sometimes you have to go back to the real world, let's say, and you're being rewarded for doing so. Yeah, it's my experience, not only in myself but in other people. I see it. Yeah, we have the comparison also maybe to the museum, where you see a Kandinsky very differently from just a picture on the internet standing on your desk, right? And with classical music, I find that yes, it looks very difficult. It is very difficult. But it can be so rewarding to delve into it, yeah, and to say, yeah, great, I'm going to read something more about it. I'm going to hear it again at home, maybe. I'm going to take some music home from the internet and listen to it again. And the more you discover, the more you can experience the beauty. And that is something that goes very much for classical music, I think.
Yeah, we say it also with a Wegwerfgesellschaft, so everything we buy, we just throw away after it's
quick fashion,
broken.
fast fashion.
The thing with classical music, as you said, is that it will just get better the more often you listen to the same piece. Yeah. It's not something that gets boring, if it's great art, of course, that you listen to a piece like tonight we'll play Schubert Fantasie with violin with Johannes. This is a piece I have played a few times, and each time I play it I discover something new, or as a listener it also discovers something new. So that's, yeah, can only enhance your experience.
What is really interesting, how much classical music we know, everybody, without knowing it. Yeah, when you play a very famous tune in classical, then you can feel in the audience, everybody goes, ah, yes, I know that one. Because so much classical music is somehow put into film score, is put into advertising, etc., etc. Whereas, of course, pop music always lives from the one person, from the one Taylor Swift that is present on stage. Yeah. Classical, of course, is shared by everyone, and sometimes it's hidden. I would almost say it's hidden in so many other film disciplines and different genres, yeah, that we can have a joy of rediscovering it on stage.
Yeah, I also had the same experience that I've watched the football championship, I think, and there was some ad with some classical music. I don't even remember what it was. Was it Paganini or Chopin? But it was something very famous for us. And that again showed me that people like it. Otherwise, you know, the companies wouldn't choose it as a song, as a melody for their ad, because people would not buy things if they would not like it. So it shows again that it's something that really connects us, but we have to also create these opportunities as you do here, where we can meet and share that together. Yeah, so if people want to find you or your projects on the internet before they come here in person, where can they find you?
Under my name, it's very easy, www.Silke Zimmermann, 2 M's, 2 N's in the German writing, no dots in between. Silke like silk, like this tissue. .com.
Okay, perfect. Very good. If you want to find my projects, of course, concerts, but also if you want to learn how you can master the piano without too much pain and frustration, of course, that will be part of it. But we can minimize that, and you can go to aaronpilsner.com, also /academy, and there you can apply for a first free strategy lesson with me. Thank you, Silke, for being here. Pleasure. Looking forward to our concert tonight. I'll go to the hotel for a short nap, and you will prepare everything very well for the concert.
I will.
Thank you.